I go live, and then as soon as I go live, my neighbors decide they have to hose literally everything down in their yard. I don't know. I have weird neighbors. Hey everyone. I don't know. Paul again. I wanted to talk about some things. So an apology. I didn't know the Christine uh King of Our Nightmares episode never got put on podcast streaming. It only was on YouTube. So I have rectified that and that's out now. Um 2 months late. Weird ass neighbors. So let's get into this. So it is officially too hot to do Tuesday treadmill talks in my house because I have to turn off the swamp cooler in order to for you to hear. I do that for reviews, but I'm like further away from the swamp cooler, so it's not a big deal, and I'm not moving around. When I this house, it's been over a minimum of 114 degrees for like a week. It peaked at I think 121 last weekend. Like Saturday, it was like 121 degrees Fahrenheit. Horrific, truly horrific. So it makes it really hard to film here when that happens. Um, and the house is so freaking loud at all times because we have AC, like portable AC units, and the swamp cooler because we don't have central heating and air here. This house is old as shit and it doesn't have them. And our landlord flat out refuses to put it in. So, and plus, if he probably put it in, he'd probably jack up our rents substantially and it wouldn't be pertinent to live here anymore. So, anyway, I'm very limited on what I can film. So I'm going to be working in here a bit to get this up to snuff. I have a bunch of Amazon returns I have to do for I think both Gabby and myself. I have to do a bunch of Amazon returns. This is the shipping area as well as my where I work and where I stream. So it is a tiny room. So I have to do all that in here. Hence why there's boxes and just shit. Literal shit. Not literal, figurative shit everywhere. So this week I'm going to be going through getting all of our Amazon stuff done. Some of it will be done today on account of I have to. I have to. There's a UPS right by Les Schwab, and I have to take my car in because I have a leak in my back right tire. That was lovely. We almost had a flat. It's a slow leak. I started yesterday and we were at kickboxing this morning, which I hit the 1 million mark on the app we use for kickboxing for my gym, which woot woot. I'm doing good. I actually lost 5 pounds since we've started this about a month and a half ago. So that's pretty good. But I noticed that the carb was low. It wasn't flat. And I keep a portable compressor in my car. So it wasn't the end of the world. So I drove home and I've proceeded to top off all the tires. The other three were a little low too, so I need to have take it to Les Schwab and have them look at it. They put the tires on, so and this is the second like tire situation I've had this year. Back in March, I got a flat at school and had to get a whole new tire. Thankfully, it was under warranty because I just got tires 2023, early 2023, I think. I think I got them before we went to Montana. So I've had these tires are barely a year old at this point, and I've already had to get a whole new one. Um, there's a lot of crap in my yard because this used to be like a crack house. So there's just like glass and nails everywhere, the trash. I find we've lived here 2 years, and I probably found a whole garbage can full of trash. That's not counting we live by a mill and the mill workers like to throw their trash in everyone's yards because they're a bunch of fucking weird cretins and they like to just throw trash everywhere. So like I've I've cleaned up their trash too. I don't like having trash in my yard. It's a pet peeve of mine since I was a little kid. I hate yards that look like junkyard. I know this looks like a fucking junkyard in here, but this is different. I mean, outside, like have some pride in what your yard looks like. Mow your grass, you know. If there's a tree, have it removed or remove it yourself, like as in if it falls down, you know. Take care of your shit. That's like all I ask. And so like I try to live by that example. Unfortunately, my yard's kind of fucked at the moment because it's been so we've been under fire advisory for weeks. So I'm very limited on what tools I can use to clear things out. So I'm basically down to hand tools. And I'm not going to machete my grass down with little grass I have. So I have to get up early in the mornings now and do stuff. So that's lovely. But anyway, let's get into the whole haul thing. So literally the day after I stream last time, this comes in. And it's the New Republic Omnibus Volume 2. You know, I think the most sought after, well, that or the one that's coming out the end of the month, most sought after, because this has more than I thought it has. It has the Jabba tape one shot, Heir of the Empire issues 1 through 6, Dark Force Rising issues 1 through 6, Last Command issues 1 through 6, Dark Empire issues 1 through 6, Dark Empire 2 issues 1 through 6, Empire's End issues 1 and 2, Boba Fett Twin Engines of Destruction, Boba Fett Bounty on Barkuda, Boba Fett When the Fat Lady Swings, and Boba Fett Murder Most Foul. Also, Boba Fett Agent of Doom, which I had those a long time ago. I read that many years ago because I think that was all collected in Boba Fett Death, Lies, and Treachery was the trade that all those were collected in, where it's the Cam Kennedy stuff art. And then we also have Star Wars Handbook number 3 and material from Star Wars Tales issues 1, 3, 4, 5, 10, 14, 20, and 22. This is a big deal, Omnibus, because this is the first time in a long time, probably at least 15 years, that we've had the Thrawn trilogy comics and Dark Empire trilogy in hardcover. It's a big deal. It also has like other stuff. The Boba Fett stuff's been way hard to get for a very long time, which I think we're basically at a point where we have all the Boba Fett one shots are collected now in omnibus form. There may be one or two in the Rebellion era that haven't quite been collected yet. I think there's at least one or two Boba Fett one shots that came out in the last omnibus, came out a few weeks ago, the Rebellion Volume 2. So this is a big deal. It's really a big deal to have this. It got delayed so many times. I was worried they weren't even going to release it. In stock trades kind of fucked up, and they didn't have it up for purchase until late in the day it came out on the 2nd. So I ended up getting this off of Amazon and spending more money, and I wasn't thrilled. I try not to get my omnibuses on Amazon because they almost always have the absolute worst deal for any online store. I mean, I think Target had the absolute worst deal where it was just cover price. At Target, which you can't even find it in store at Target. They wouldn't stock this, but you could order it from Target and Walmart, and they were both just cover price. There was no discount. See, I like in stock trades because they get all their stuff in bulk. It takes forever for their stuff to get here, but it's worth it in the sense that the shipping's free, and usually you get a good 40% off at the very least. Sometimes they'll even go as far as like a 60% off deal. And I'm always for that, although it's been a long time since they did something like that. But yeah, hopefully they already have listings for Tales of the Jedi on in stock trade, so God willing, it will be on there. And then we don't have any other Star Wars EU stuff coming out until beginning of December, we're supposed to get Empire Omnibus 3. I doubt they will release it in December because Disney's so Disney and Marvel are so bad at releasing stuff. It's a miracle the Essential Legends collection books from Del Rey come out on time because Marvel is so bad about the omnibuses. I mean, they pushed this one back 3 times, and then they pushed it a week forward, like back in June, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like they pushed it back to mid July, and then they pushed it up to the first week of July. It's just like the fuck is going on, you know? I don't get Marvel. They're just so wishy-washy with what they when they release omnibuses now. Like and it's been this way, I think, for 2 years. I've had pretty much I think the entire time they've done Legends omnibuses on a regular basis, it's been like this. Because I remember they always announce like at least 4 of them a year, and you're most likely only getting 2 of them a year. Um, and this was one of them. I think the first one of these got pushed back. Like it's just ridiculous. And like it's kind of it frustrates me because there's just so many Star Wars comics left that haven't gotten these omnibuses, and I hate dealing with having to buy them. If that makes any sense, they're so it's so fucking frustrating to deal with this. Because you budget. Like it's not like I made a money here. All right, I I do my best, and you budget for something, and then suddenly it's pushed back, and then you have like emergency come up. It's just a pain in the fucking ass. That's just the best way of putting it. So hopefully, at least Tales of the Jedi comes out this year. I would love for Empire Volume 3 to come out in December because that's I think there's one more Empire omnibus they'll do, and it's probably going to be a small one. Which that's going to be fun when they do that and Empire's done. Because what they haven't announced anything else yet. They've been. It's weird we haven't gotten Menace revealed, which I think they're going to break into 2 omnibuses and charge more money, which is annoying, but it's going to be if they. I don't like when they make them this thick. This is kind of pushing it, and because this is 2, maybe 3 epic collections kind of put pieced together. 2.5, I think. It's definitely epic collections 4 and 5. But it has material from other things that weren't in those epic collections. Those epic collections were literally 4 was just the Thrawn trilogy, and 5 was just Dark Empire. I know I had them. I actually sold them. It for in preparation for this, literally 2 years ago. I sold them before we moved here. That's how long ago. That's how long it's taken to get this omnibus. It took years. I've had that first one. I think I got it. It came in right when we moved here. And now we just got the second one. So God knows when they're going to actually do the third and probably fourth. If there's because we still got Crimson Empire, that whole trilogy. We got Jedi Academy, Leviathan. We have Invasion, New Jedi, Chewbacca, the sequel to Vector Prime. Jedi Academy, Leviathan. I think I said that already. Union. Like we have some big stories, and there's actually like a lot of Tales stuff that still hasn't been collected. Also, I'm waiting for them to just throw Marvel 108 in because they've never collected that in a hardcover. I mean, honestly, knowing how lazy Marvel is being with these, I doubt they'll ever collect it in hardcover. I'll have to get that trade paperback to get issue 108. Bundacast Production says, "Yo, what up, dude?" Um, Yeah, it's just weird. Anyway, um, it's kind of nice that we're getting to a point where it's not like this month's just been wild because we had that Predator omnibus that came out too. Um, where like it's just a bunch of stuff all of a sudden. They usually don't space it out that poorly, but whatever. Anyway, we'll get into some. I got some micro machines here. I did get another set, and it's a vintage set. Well, and they're all vintage at this point. Micro machines really isn't a thing. Uh, Bundacast Productions asks, "Am I watching the Acolyte?" No, I can't. I've seen the clips of it. I don't watch Disney Star Wars if I can avoid it. My dad watches it and he'll call me and ask me questions, EU questions, because he also has started. Well, I think he kind of gave up on the EU again. He got into Clone Wars and he got into the TCW novelization and just kind of gave up. So it is what it is. Maxwell says hello. Hello, Maxwell. But anyway, let's get into this. This is so I never had the face play sets for Micro Machines. You might be wondering why. It's because they made a Luke Skywalker one and it scared the shit out of me when I was 3. So I never wanted them again, even though some of them are really cool, like this one. This is the Stormtrooper Death Star, which has some unique little figurines. We got that's Luke, although it looks like Han. Chewie's back there. Han, Leia, a dead stormtrooper, and an Imperial officer in a unique position that wasn't in the 9-pack. And the only one that's like a repackage is Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. This is from their first run before the special editions. You can tell a couple ways. Usually they'll have black and gray bars if they're the redos for the special edition, which some of them only ever came out as the special edition because they did special edition scenes. But this is from the original. It also says Micro Machine Space, although it says Pace there because someone bought this from Walmart for $13.96. Those were the days. Those were the days when you could get. That's why I liked Micro Machines back in the day and how I got into them. I actually had the actual Death Star playset that is the Death Star, and you open it up and like it has the button that pops off a little panel like it's blowing up. Like that's the one that was the first Micro Machine sets I got because it was on sale when I was probably 98. It was they were still Galoob, although I believe Hasbro bought them out for Phantom Menace and they still kept the Galoob name on them. Most of my Micro Machines are Phantom Menace related because that's when I started playing with those. And I still I have all of them. They're in a container behind me. I pulled them out the other day. And I'm not missing any. Well, I lost a piece today. It's somewhere in the office. It's actually for the Death Star. I popped it off and it flew off, and I think it's under my desk somewhere. So I'll be doing cleaning this week and looking for it. And thank you, dude. It was quite a good find. I paid a little more than $13.96. I think I paid $16, $17, something like that. And I have a few more. I have 2 of the same set coming in. It's the TIE Fighter Academy, which I think is a cool set I didn't even know existed, which is just EU material. So I'm grabbing one of those. It's the cheapest of the EU Micro Machines because there's a lot of EU Micro Machines and they're all pretty expensive because they came in like these little. It would be the cover of the book, like Heir of the Empire, first 2 Jedi Academy books, Dark Force Rising, Courtship of Princess Leia, and Truce of Bakura. They did 6 of them. Courtship of Princess Leia is the rarest. It was the last one, and I don't think they even came out in America. It goes for about $600 for 3 figures and 2 ships. They're not action fleet ships where you can put the figures in the ships. They are the little model ships like that TIE Advance. Dark Apprentice is expensive and Dark Force Rising is expensive, but you can usually get Truce of Bakura really cheap. And it's cool because like you got all the main character, like EU characters that are in the Thrawn trilogy, with the exception of I think if they'd done Last Command, would have gotten Jorah. I don't think we have Jorah Sabaoth, and we definitely don't have Clone Luke. But Mara's in there, Thrawn's in there, Boris Phalia. For some reason, they threw the Emperor in there. But like for um, Dark Apprentice, Exar Kun is one of the figures, which is cool. Courtship of Princess Leia. It's the only figurine of Leia that has a lightsaber. And it's a red lightsaber, which she only has, I think, in Courtship of Princess Leia. She only has it for one book, and then she loses it. And then ends up with the blue lightsaber we see in the Thrawn trilogy. But yeah, her first lightsaber was red or orange. I can't remember. It's been a long time. I'll be getting to those books probably next year, so I'll be able to tell you that. But those are fun. Those are bucket list ones. They also did Shadows of the Empire Micro Machines because, of course, they did, and those are moderately priced. There's one that's an Action Fleet swoop set with Dash Rendar on a swoop and a swoop gang member on a swoop. It has a bunch of figures, and they did 3 regular figure packs with like Luke in his orange or yellow vest. I think it's yellow vest that he wears in Shadows of the Empire, and like Dash Rendar and his droid companion, and Prince Zizor and his robot assistant, who's a woman whose name's escaping me. It's not Gariel. She's in the Truce of Bakura, so that's Luke's love interest in that book. But anyway, what was they also did an Action Fleet, which is you would think would be the Outrider, but it's thank you, Scott Gurry. Thank you. Names escape me. It's been years since I read Shadows of the Empire. I can't wait for them to release the next Rebellion omnibus because they're doing the Epic collection. I think it just came out that has Shadows of the Empire in it, so it's a matter of time before they do Rebellion Omnibus 3, which will probably have Shadows of the Empire, the final story. And then I can reread and kind of remember what happens, although the comic's different because it's got Jinx, the most important of Vader's spies that's only in 2 things ever. Yeah. Anyway, but they didn't do the Outrider. They did Caesar's like ship that shows up at the very end of the book for Action Fleet. I don't know. Also, Action Fleet has a TIE Defender and an E-Wing, and they go for insane prices online. Out of box and missing figures, they go for over $100, like incomplete. Complete, it's like $300 to $500. So I clearly have not gotten those. I don't have that money, at least not right now. Eventually, that's the stretch goal is to for my Micro Machine collecting. I would like to have all the EU Micro Machines because out of all the toy lines, I think the Micro Machines did probably the most interesting choices in characters. I mean, we never got an action figure of Dala, but we got a Micro Machine of Dala. Yeah, just weird things like that. I'd also love to get some of the EU 3 3/4 action figures for like a reasonable price. I'd love to have like a Mara, a Thrawn, an actual EU Thrawn as opposed to new canon Thrawn. That would be nice. Kyle Katarn would be nice. A Dark Trooper, things like mainly the Power of the Force 2 line, like the EU figures they did at the end of that line. I would like those. Not necessarily the Shadows of the Empire ones, because I thought they were kind of lame overall. Although I would like to have the Caesar from that, and possibly the Slave 1, because that's a good Slave 1 ship. Scott Johnson says that he likes likes the X-Wing game that has the E-Wing and K-Wing, I think. They are. I know. I can't remember which one you're talking. I think the E-Wing's unlockable in a couple of the X-Wing games. I can't remember though. So let's get into. I bought the last 3 random Micro Galaxy boxes from the Walmart where my parents live, because my Walmart, the 2 that are near me, they do not sell these. Probably because they get stolen. I picked these ones up. They were all open, so we'll see if they actually have the figures in them. So this is Series 5, and we got a Din Djarin with a cannon, which looks similar to the Stormtrooper one with cannon. It might be the same cannon. These are like less than $5, so it wouldn't surprise me if they reused stuff. In fact, I'm pretty sure they've reused at least Dooku Speeder before. Okay, here we go. Got a battle droid, Attack the Clones battle droid with a staff, which is cool. I'll have to compare it to my Action Fleet mini playset that has Jar Jar and the battle droid with the staff. And I do plan to eventually review my Micro Machines. I just have to make time. I want to get through KOTOR. I want to get through all the KOTOR reviews, which I might start doubling up on. So I released Vector, which thank you all for watching. Papa Wedge left a really good comment that I wanted to bring up on here with counterpoints to my complaints. But anyway, this last one is that Count Dooku Speeder with a Geonosian. It's kind of funny. Geonosians fly, so I don't know why the Geonosian would need a speeder. Maybe it got winded. Maybe it's a Geonosian with like a Watto body, aka like my physique, where it's just hard to exist. You got the beer belly going on, and you have like little wings. That's not doable. I don't know how Watto does it. Like, I don't know how Toydarians do that. Like, they're just not made to fly around. They're probably winded at all times. Oh man, I'm so tired. I have work in a couple more minutes. My lunch will be over, so I'll probably pop off here. But yeah, I'm gonna try to finish up KOTOR Volume 6 tomorrow and get that reviewed. I'm not gonna do an insane. I recorded in a way that I've never done before on my phone, and the file was so flippin' big. I had to use an external drive, and it was the file in its raw form was 80 gigabytes for a 13-minute video. I mean, don't get me wrong, it had some of the best color ever. It was had a lot of versatility with the file type, but it was not fun to edit in the sense that it nearly killed my MacBook back there. So anyway, I will try not to do that again. But I did like using the DJI labs. I'm keeping these. I like these quite a bit. They're very, very well made. So anyway, I'll probably have one more haul, but I don't think it will be until next month, probably beginning of next month, because I want to get the Tales of the Jedi omnibus and show that off. So anyway, that's about all I have for today. Have a good one, everyone.